Hello YouTube, it is me, Raina, and I am back. So I'm going to talk about the funny girl drama. I'm going to go down a basically rough timeline of what happened and how we got here. So as we all know, Leah Michele is going to replace Beanie Feldstein as Fanny Bryce. How do we get here? Let me start. So I'm going to start all the way back in 2020 when Leah Michele was called out by Samantha Ware, who is a Glee cast member in season 6, the last season of Glee. She was the black girl who wanted to join the Warblers. And basically Leah Michele bullied her, said she was going to do something in her wig. You can find a direct comment, probably if you Google search it. And she had some other racial microaggressions against her. And many people who were on Glee co-signed her. Melissa Benoist has done it. Alex Newell, basically almost the whole cast. And even people who were in her other shows like Scream Queens and The Mayor. And it seemed like no one liked her. And I was wondering back in that time, ever since Glee ended in 2015, I was wondering, why isn't Leah Michele on Broadway? You would think, at least in between her shows or whatever, that, you know, she would do a short stint or do a long stint or whatever to star in a Broadway show, and it never happened. And then when when people were exposing her, I finally understood no one wanted to work with her. So it seemed like an industry thing that Leah Michele was hard to work with. That's why we barely saw her really in anything since Glee. I mean, yes, she was in Scream Queen, she was in The Mayor, but those shows got canceled, and even Ryan Murphy didn't want to work with her after Scream Queens. So it seemed like, I won't say blackballed, but kind of like, we don't want to work with her. And so recently, as last year, it was announced that Beanie Feldstein was going to play Fanny Bryce in the new and first revival of the show. And people were like, oh, this is a jab at Leah because, of her being exposed the previous year and all that jazz. And then now recently, with the opening of Funny Girl, unfortunately, Beanie has not got some really good reviews. And it's okay to critique somebody, of course, this has, it's a very popular show. We all know Barbra Streisand. And people were unfairly comparing her to Barbra Streisand from the movie. And also fat shaming her, body shaming her, which is not something you do when you're critiquing a show, no matter who is playing what character. It shouldn't matter anyway. That shouldn't be a part of your critique, but they were doing that. And I felt like, to me, it was a dog pile on her. It's kind of like, oh, how dare this girl even thinks she could ever play this role or whatever. It was giving kind of, low-key hate. And now we're in this time to where Leah Michele's replacing her. And Beanie was actually going to leave the show in September. But before this was announced the other day, she was like, well, actually, I'm going to leave July 31st. So she's leaving way sooner than anyone thought. And the same with Jane Lynch. She was also in the show, also on Glee. And she was going to leave. She was always scheduled to leave in September anyway, because that's where her contract ended. But she's leaving early. So that should give you some insight. And to me, people are going to say, oh, well, they cast her because we know she could sing these songs. I'm not stupid. I know Leah Michele. I know how she sings. I follow her since Spring Awakening. I'm not dumb, okay? And also, yes, I watched her on Glee. I watched Glee. I know she could sing these songs, of course. But the main reason why she was not picked, and also why she has not been on Broadway really since 2008, is because she was well known in the industry of not being easy to work with. You really think the first revival of Funny Girl, why was Leah Michele not the first choice? You got to think about that. Like, she was never the first choice. They put all their money into Beanie. And the people want to talk about nepotism. It's like, it's nothing new. Nepotism in the industry, no matter what medium it is not new. Okay, there's been many a star who's been the mother or the daughter or the son or the uncle or the auntie of somebody. Like, it's nothing new. Okay, so you could just scratch that. That's not valid, because the industry is made up a lot of people who are families and whatever. Okay? Now, there's been a backlash against this. There's been think pieces, articles written about this. There are people who are actually for this. And there's also an argument to be made, like, oh, shouldn't we give her a second chance to, like, really reinvent herself? Maybe she's humbled herself since then. And I kind of had that a little bit, because I was thinking, like, this is a big backlash, not backlash, a big expose on her. And I was like, I'm willing to give her a chance, but I don't know. But with this news, it just seems like the only reason why they cast her in this role is because first of all, she's a safe choice. And second of all, they want controversy and people want intrigue. And the whole drama around this is so juicy and whatever. And so they cast her in the lead role, basically. Will the show make money? Probably, yeah, but I don't see it lasting. Maybe early next year. I don't know. But yeah, it's just just a big mess. And like I said, I feel like they only hired her just for the controversy. And it seems like they don't care about what was being exposed about her. Because honestly, if they truly wanted Leah Michelle, they would have made her the first choice. And I bet you $10 million, she would have said yes. She would have said yes. There would have been no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If she was offered this last year as you want to be the new Fanny Bryce of this first revival of Funny Girl, of course she was going to say yes. So, now they're playing like, oh, well, let's push Beanie to the side and prop up Leah. And I bet you they're going to do a whole media blitz to try to sugarcoat everything. But it's like, honestly, if you if you wanted this show to get all the Tony nominations and to do all that and whatever, you would have went with the safe choice first. And everything. It seemed like they were embarrassed by the choices they made when casting Beanie and trying to, really make Fanny Bryce different or do whatever than, making a safe choice. So that's my thoughts on this whole controversy. I hope Beanie the best. I hope after the show is over that we actually get what was really going on behind the scenes. It seems like, considering Beanie is leaving so early than normal, it seems like I don't want to put anything out there, but it seems like she's not being supported like she's supposed to. Even if, we can talk about the critical reviews or whatever, still, you're supposed to support your actor, and you're supposed to, kind of be there for them and give them a graceful exit and make sure that, amicable and whatever, but it seems like it wasn't that way. So what are your thoughts on this? Leave your comments down below and bye, YouTube.